Hello everyone, this is CJNovo992 and today we're back for another brand new video. And go ahead and give yourselves a round of applause, we've made it once again to Friday. And before sending you off to hopefully enjoying your weekend, I thought it's time me and the get together and discuss the biggest talking points and the biggest news this week, rounding it up in the fashion and a wee series we call the Rangers Roundup. As I'm actually recording today's video, or starting to record at 8:59 AM. The fixtures should be out probably by the time I finished doing this intro, so we're going to react to that live, talk about that, but also we're here to talk about the John Souttar situation, which is it's just stupid and needless, but I don't know, we'll get to it as story number 2 before finishing off with the transfers, or maybe the lack of, and why I think we're in a new era and we should prepare ourselves for the madness that is going to bring. So it's an action-packed Rangers Roundup. So let's go ahead and get into it. But addressing the red elephant in the room as I do sit in front of you, the most meme of all time. You know what I mean? It's been sunny for one day and the Scottish person is burnt to a crisp. But that's my bad, ladies and gentlemen. I was actually recording with the Flat Chat boys. I don't know if he's on TikTok or anything like that, but they do a lot of Scottish football content, you know what I mean? Some quizzes and that, but they also start doing some unreal football content with shooting challenges, free kicks, and all that. Really, really funny stuff, and they're good guys. I've known Jacob for a long time, so they reached out. So I went away and filmed with them yesterday, and didn't worry, I know he's a screaming, oh no, CG, you never went in there and try-harded blasting balls at We Are in the Nets. No! I never, right? I understood the assignment and I went for more laughter than try harding. So I've tried to entertain you that way. So if you are on TikTok, I don't know when the videos are drawn on that, but hopefully you have a lot of fun with that. You know what I mean? I'll give you a wee hint. You know what I mean? I tried to do a front flip while shooting. Now reminder, I can't shoot and I can't do a front flip. So I'll let you connect the dots. I can still barely sit down, but I don't know when those videos are dropping, but hopefully you enjoy them as we start to branch out and doing more and more type of content. But I know the content you're here for right frickin' now is some Rangers things, so let's get into it. And as it is 9:03, I should be able just to click on the Rangers Twitter account. I can, and the tweet is there now. It should be on your screen, of course, but we're starting off with August, and it starts with Motherwell away. She's fine, thanks. Dundee at home, St Mirren away, and Celtic at home. You know what? I didn't hate it. Especially with Motherwell away, because you think of how we've started the last 2 seasons. We've no won in opening day, and maybe that set us on for what we were to expect that season. A season of disappointment, a season of failure. But 2 years ago we got beat off Killie. Last year we drew. We've not been able to kickstart our season at all. So Motherwell away gives us the perfect opportunity. But again, I also saying that knowing for a fact we've struggled versus the likes of Motherwell. But it's almost ironic that it is Motherwell away, right? Because what's been the big conversation since Russell Martin's been announced? Is he going to be able to break the low block down? Is he going to be able to understand this? Well, this is the bread and butter of Scottish football. The likes of Motherwell away is where previous managers have failed at this football club. Even last season, we never lost the league in the head-to-heads versus Celtic. We actually had a pretty good record. We were in those types of games. We lost the league last season, despite being brutal in a lot of areas, but it was against the likes of Motherwell. It was against the likes of St Mirren's. It was against the other in the SPFL. So to start the season off that way with an opportunity to set it right that we've not done the last 2 seasons, maybe get a bit of good feeling around Russell Martin, start saying, right, he's done something the 2 last favourites couldn't go ahead, and let's see what this lad is all about. Now, again, I'm also saying that knowing for a fact there's no guarantee we could win that game, as again we've not done it in the last 2 years. But what an opportunity it is for Russell Martin to get everybody on side and do what the last 2 managers haven't been able to do and kick us in the right way. And then the first home game of the season is actually at Ibrox. Do you remember last season? I know everyone's put it out their mind, but we never started the season off last year at Ibrox. Our first home game was at Hampden, so it's actually nice to see us starting this season off with a home game being at home. It's painful. We need to break this down, but what a weird, painful season last season actually was. And then obviously St Mirren away and then Celtic at Ibrox. I'm sitting looking at August, ladies and gentlemen, with a real enthusiasm and positivity around that, saying we could really start the season off well and get everybody buying in to Martin ball. As for me, that is a 9-point minimum in my personal opinion, with the only real exception is St Mirren away, which has been a difficult game for us. Come on, you knew it was coming, ladies and gentlemen. But I didn't hate August leading in to September. We then go to Hearts, then Livingston away. Okay, great. I'm delighted to see the Tony Mac again. Brilliant, love that. Falkirk away, which is another plastic part. So we're doing a wee plastic dirty double, ladies and gentlemen. You know what I mean? I know there's a wee bit of time in between them, but there you are, a wee plastic sandwich. Mind me voted to get rid of them. Dundee United then at Ibrox, Kilmarnock at Ibrox, then Hibs away to end October. Okay, again, don't overly hate it. November, I'm waiting for December really, that's going to tell me everything if I'm going to have a nice Christmas or no. November starts with Aberdeen at Ibrox, then away to Dundee, then we've got Livingston at home, and then Falkirk at home. That's a good month. Like that's, I know we've made a couple of jokes and everything like that, but that screams maximum points. We've got to take maximum points in November to take that into what always is a frantic, chaotic December. And December starts, let me see, zoom in a wee bit, I'm getting old. December starts with Dundee United away, Kilmarnock away, Hibs at Ibrox, Hearts away, Motherwell at home, and St Mirren at home. Yeah. I just didn't like December. I personally think the key part of December is actually how we started that 10-day period from Dundee United away. You've got Kilmarnock away, and then you've got Hibs at Ibrox. You win those games, you're setting yourself up to have a very successful December. And I think if you look at every single season over the last donkeys, or even when we have been successful, it's been built on a successful December. So starting that off well, ladies and gentlemen, could lead us in, as the fixtures towards the end isn't the worst. But aye, let's jump into January, let's pick the phone up and see. And on to January we go, and it's interesting, ladies and gentlemen. So Celtic away, obviously, Parkhead on the 3rd, Aberdeen then follows that a week later, Dundee, again, are we just playing Dundee every 10 days? How many times have I said Dundee so far? Anyway, and then we finish up with Hibs away. So in January we have Parkhead, Pittodrie and Easter Road. Yeah, that's nippy. That's really, really nippy. We may have a new manager by then. It's too soon, I know. I also would like to apologise that I'm looking at my phone, by the way, but I'm trying to do this a live reaction so you're getting my genuine thoughts and opinions on it. I did plan to do a live stream, but I'm actually dog sitting my friend's dog, so there's 2 dogs here, and it's an absolute riot, so there'll be a lot of jump cuts, because every time I speak or speak loudly, they're going like that, you know. You want me to do it again? Just keep... You're welcome. I could do that all day, by the way. But anyway, live reaction February. Let's zoom in. Okay, we start off with Kilmarnock at Ibrox, then away to Motherwell, Hearts at Ibrox, away to Livingston, and then we end it with a home game versus Celtic. So we play at Tony Mac, then at Ibrox versus Celtic. Again, alright type of month. March is the short month. Obviously, there's going to be an international break. You have St Mirren away, and then Aberdeen at home. Again, all fine with that one. April is Dundee United at Ibrox, Falkirk away, and then you get the post-split fixtures, and then that's obviously where we lead into May. But honestly, the key months for me, I know it's very, very boring, but I think August, I think December, and January is obviously going to be a really tough one for the 3 aways, and you've got Celtic and obviously like that as well. But that for me is your 3 key parts of the calendar, ladies and gentlemen. I'm giving it August, I'm giving it this December, and I'm giving it January. But regarding predictions and league predictions and all that, that's going to come a bit later on. I'll try and wait as close to the first game of the season, and we'll combine that with reacting to last year's league prediction video and everything. We'll have a wee bit of fun with that, but I want to wait as long as possible for a league prediction. I know people are starting to do it now, but I'm looking at the same dross that I didn't want to see wearing a Rangers shirt week in and week out, 90% of them at least. So I want to wait as long as I possibly can to try and have a bit of enthusiasm and excitement regarding the team of Rangers. So the league prediction video will come close to, obviously, Motherwell away as humanly possible, possibly even the day before. But that's the league fixtures. How do you feel about it? What's the 3 key months in your opinion? Again, it'd be great to see yours down in the old comment section below as we wrap it up right frickin' there. Good luck, Ross and Martin. Start off well, man. Just get everybody on side. I really want them to succeed now, because there has been so much negativity. And I know I was even a small part of that before it happened. But now he's here. I really want him to do well. Just go ahead and win that game. Scratch that off and then go. Big man, that would be amazing. But on to story number 2. Depending on how well the start of the season goes, could play in the fact of a certain John Souttar. Now, just in case you don't know the entire story regarding this one, you don't live chronically online, John Souttar is facing a race to be fit, or at least that was first published over the last 48 hours, and this man has been absolutely toasted online since the article came out saying he's in a race for fitness and a test against time to be fit and ready to play. Panathinaikos. Now again, in case you don't know what I'm talking about here, you might be thinking, John Souttar injured again, man, water is wet. But it's no the type of scenario you're thinking it is. John Souttar was in a race to be fit and a test to be ready, blah blah blah, for Panathinaikos because he opted to wait for surgery he needed, minor surgery that he needed, till after Scotland played 2 friendlies, ladies and gentlemen. And the way this was originally reported before Russell Martin added it today caused that to snowstorm and go absolutely crazy. You're talking about our best centre-back. Despite my frustrations with John, is he your best centre-back now? Aye. Is he good enough? Probably not. But is he the best we've got? Aye. Ladies and gentlemen, so to envision a world where our best centre-back has put our Champions League campaign at risk to play 2 meaningless games for Scotland in terms of friendlies is maddening. And when I heard the news and I read the news and I saw the news, I was infuriated to the maximum, but I didn't saying it. I never made a video, I never jumped on it because I said, nah, I need to wait for a bit of clarification regarding all this. I knew the fixtures were coming, I knew Martin would obviously be talking about them, and I knew one reporter or somebody would ask him the question of John. So I sat back angrily thinking, nah, I can't believe this, but I waited to see what Russell Martin said. Thankfully, Russell Martin did add some clarification regarding this, and it's very important, in my opinion, for Big John's career. As Russell Martin confirmed the part of the story I was hoping he would rip up, that John Souttar did opt to wait until after the international games to go for his surgery that the club knew he needed, and he knew he needed by the end of the old season. And you know what I mean, he could have actually had it sooner if Barry wasn't trying so hard to get the job. You know what I mean, this could have all been tidied up, we could have planned properly for the future, but we're so incredibly short-sighted. There's mistakes absolutely everywhere. But again, the player's decision was to wait, get through the friendlies before making that. But the important bit of context you need to the story is Russell Martin has says he expects John Souttar to be fine and ready for Panathinaikos, which is vastly different to what it was less than 2 hours ago when people were foaming at mouth saying he's killed our Champions League campaign to play in 2 meaningless games. If he is fully fit and if he is ready to go, then yeah, we've dodged that bullet. But what a bullet that was to attempt to kneel, ladies and gentlemen, is for me, it's completely needless. Now I know there's going to be people screaming at me saying, CJ, didn't believe any of this, that's just Martin defending his player and taking a wee bit of the flame and taking a wee bit of the flack off him, just shielding him from the abuse he's been getting over the last 48 hours. But see if that is the case and Martin is stepping in front of those many pitchforks that's getting flung, I didn't hate it. I quite like a Rangers manager defending his players that way, especially so openly in the actual press. But see, at the same time as Russell Martin hasn't shown me anything to suggest that he is lying or he is talking out his side of his face or anything like that. He's just coming out here and saying it, so I'm taking his word as gospel that John Souttar will be ready for Panathinaikos. And again, if he is, then yeah, we can all move on for it. If he can't and we didn't qualify for the Champions League, that's a massive decision. But that's my personal opinion on it. I'm taking Martin's word as gospel. It's sort of calmed me down a wee bit and I can move on, and I expect to see Big John in the starting 11 versus Panathinaikos. If it isn't, fair enough, we can all go crazy. And the word crazy actually gives us the perfect transition into the third and final part of this week's Rangers Roundup, which maybe never really hit this week, but it's been sort of a combination of the last couple of weeks, and it's the transfers or the lack of and the frustration that's building within the fan bases. My DMs are flooded, my comment section's flooded, my tweets are flooded with people screaming, where on earth is the signing? This board is the same as the previous board, it's the same regime, it's supposed to be a new era, where is the bodies? And I understand it is really frustrating, especially when you see the likes say Hearts, what they announced 6 people since the Windies been on. Livingston, I think, is on their 8th. Even the likes of Ross County, who got relegated down, had their budget shrunk. Even frickin' Mayor has announced at least 3 bodies in the last couple of days, right? And you see all that and you're getting like, what's Rangers doing? We need a rebuild. Where the hell is it? It's getting up, and everyone's losing their mind. And where I obviously share a lot of that frustration, because it would be great to talk about a lot of signings, I did sort of mentally prepare myself for that, because I did look a hell of a lot into Leeds and how they were operating, looking what their fan pages say, the big accounts down there, what they say about transfers. The 49ers keeping it quiet until they're ready to announce it. They announce it, and they didn't let insiders or journalists or anybody announce it. The club like to control the narrative, and the club like to do their business that way. And it does comes in waves, and it does come in punches. So I did sort of mentally prepare myself. Now again, has it helped me with my frustration? Probably no, but I'm in the hope, and I'm in at least the camp that's sitting to the side being like, right, maybe we aren't hearing anything, but maybe it is, because it's a new era, not only with the way they operate, but the insiders, the guys with the reporters, the guys with the exclusive. For me, the days are numbered and are probably all over, because there is so many new people in the building, because it is a completely new infrastructure in there. These previous relationships that are built up to get exclusives and get scoops and get all that, that's all ripped up and gone. Ladies and gentlemen, there are new relationships that need to be built. There's trust that does need to be built. But for right now, that's why we're not hearing the ins and the outs the way we used to, where we heard for weeks the guy we were getting. We heard for months the guys we were going ahead and signing. None of that is happening now. But again, instead of thinking the club's no daying in, I'm just going to go from the same way that Leeds has been operating, and what we've been warned by Leeds pages is you'll not hear nothing until the club are ready to put certain things out there to warm up or get a wee bit excitement regarding the actual deal. Again, there'll be the occasional leak, like maybe the Max Aarons deal, but that mostly got leaked from down south and the player's agent, but that's not coming for the club. It wasn't an exclusive fired that way. It was then moved on, and then everybody started to talk about us. But I think that's what we need to prepare ourselves for, and that's what we need to go ahead and do, ladies and gentlemen. Just because it's silent doesn't mean there isn't things getting ready, and what I'm truly expecting very shortly is that first domino to fall, if it is a player coming in or if it's a player being sold, and then it'll trickle that way. I think you'll see it in punches. I think you'll see it in waves. It'll be a sell, buy, and that's what the next couple of days will look like, in my personal opinion. So it's not great for the content and anything like that, and as a YouTuber I should be demanding exclusives and all that stuff, but there is that air of excitement to me, because again, at the end of the day, when you strip all this back, I'm a Rangers fan. I just want to see a successful Rangers team, and because they are so tightly lipped and because they are doing their jobs professionally and everything like that, is exciting to me, because I'm hoping instead of leaking out here, they're really doing their due diligence, and they're ready to pull the trigger on several players. And all I want to see is a successful Rangers team, you know what I mean? I wanted experience, I wanted people that know what they're doing, they're going about their business, and all I can hope is when that ball starts to trickle away and when these players start to get announced, they're good players that improve our team. But that's what I just wanted to address, because I've been asked so many times, do I think it's the exact same board and we're getting lit doing it? Like, nah, ladies and gentlemen, I just think they're doing their business completely differently than what we were used to in the past with exclusive here and insider here. I think all that's wiped away. They're still working away, and I think once it starts, it'll really start to roll. And truly, I have no idea if the third part of today's topic was interesting or anything like that, but it's just how I wanted to talk about it. I wanted to address some of the comments, Instagrams and everything I've had over the last wee while. It's not the answer that I imagine a lot of people want, because if I was sitting here ranting and raving that I hate all the silence, I imagine it would do a wee bit better, but I just think we've got professional people in the building now, and they're not talking to anybody until they're ready to talk to people, and at the same time plugging the leaks, keeping it quiet, and then announcing. Isn't that more control of the club and being better run than what it was previously in the past? I don't know, maybe I'm talking absolute nonsense and drivel, but all I can hope, again, is we've got some announcements to go ahead and talk about very, very shortly. But that's it for the weekly roundup. That's it for the Rangers roundup, ladies and gentlemen. I want to send you off now to enjoy your Saturday, Sunday, and who knows, we might be talking about a player leaving very, very soon, and one coming in very soon. That would be very nice right here on the channel. But until the next time I see you, I've been CJNovo992. Thank you all so much for watching. Thank you so much to all the channel members and everything like that that signed up. It should now be on the screen, and it will be if you're at the Channel Legend membership and everything like that. It will be at the end of every video. And again, thanks to everyone for tuning in, subscribing, supporting, hitting the likes. Couldn't do any of this without you, and I'm very excited and hopeful we have a very good year with each other. There's a lot of planned content, a lot of things I'm working on behind the scenes that if it all comes off, we should have a lot to talk about and it should be a lot more interactive, which I am very, very excited about. But again, I'm going to finish up to send you off in your weekend. I'll see you all. Have a great weekend, everyone. I've been Siege over 92. Thank you so much for watching and bye.